Hello class 11, this is your chemistry class and we are discussing about the chemical bonding. So let's continue the class. So we have discussed up to the formal charge of ozone molecule and I have given the formula for calculating the formal charge of individual atoms present in a polyatomic molecule. Next is some limitations of octet rule. Actually in the chemical bonding chapter, the main thing is octet because the chemical bonds for each and every molecule is based upon the octet rule, because each and every atom actually, each and every molecule actually try to form the try to fulfill their octet. That means noble gas configuration or octet, whatever you say. So while trying to fulfill their octet, they actually form the chemical bonds like that. Just in case of carbon monoxide, you have seen that in case of carbon monoxide there are 3 covalent bonds there. Why 3 covalent bonds are there? Why not double bond? Why not single bond? These are not true. I have given this example in the last class, that why not single bond, why not double bond. So after giving double bond or single bond, we can see that octet for both the atoms are not fulfilled. But in this case, the octet in both cases are fulfilled. Okay. So as octet is fulfilled here, so this is the actually structure. So structure presentation or chemical bond presentation can only be explained or can only be understood by the octet of each and every atom, by counting the octet of each and every atom. So next is, obviously there are some limitations of octet rule. Limitations of octet rule. So while every molecule is trying to fulfill their octet, but there are some molecules that don't fulfill their octet, still they are stable molecule. Okay. So some examples are there like lithium chloride, barium hydride. Some molecules are there that don't fulfill their octet, still they are stable molecules. Aluminium chloride, boron trichloride. So these are some molecules. So if you count the octet, if you count the octet of each and individual, for individual atom, you can see that octet is not fulfilled here. Okay, octet is not fulfilled here. So in case of barium hydride also and BCl3 like this, so you can see there are 3 bonds. So how many electrons are there for this boron? 2 electron, 2 electron, 2 electrons. So 6 electrons, it is 6 electronic system, it is 4 electronic system, 2 electron like this. That means octet is not fulfilled here. Okay. Lithium, beryllium and boron have 1, 2 and 3 valence electrons only. Okay. So lithium, beryllium and boron have 1, 2 and 3 valence electrons only. So lithium has only 1 valence electron, beryllium has 2 valence electron and boron has 3 valence electron. So as boron has 3 valence electron, so each can combine with only 3 chlorine atoms. Beryllium has 2 valence electrons, so it can combine with 2 hydrogen atoms forming barium hydride, and lithium has only 1 valence electron, so it can combine with only 1 chlorine atom like this. Okay, so they are not fulfilling their octet actually, right? They are not fulfilling their octet, still they are stable. So incomplete octet of the central atom. Incomplete octet of central atom. So 4 electron means 4 electrons less than 8. 6 electron means 2 electron less than 8. So not 8 means incomplete octet. Still they are stable molecules. Next is that, and also you can consider in case of, as you consider BCl3, you can also consider BF3. Similar, BCl3, BF3, LCl3, all are incomplete octet molecules. First limitation. Second limitation is that there are some molecules that contains odd electron. This is first, and second is odd electron molecules. So two examples of odd electron molecules are nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, NO and NO2. So when we draw the structure of NO and NO2, it looks like N double bond O. You know that the valence electron of nitrogen is 5, right? Right? Valence electron of nitrogen is 5 and only 2 is involved here. Only two are involved here. So 1, 2, 3, 5 remaining, right? So just like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for nitrogen valence electron, and for oxygen it is 6. So 2 bonds are forming here. Here 2 lone pairs remaining, and here 3. So 3 means that is odd. You can see this pair. Among 5 valence electrons of nitrogen, 2 are involved in formation of this double bond. Formation of the covalent bond, that is double bond. 2 are involved. So 3 are remaining. So 3 means the odd. 3 means odd, and that is 1 odd electron. These are paired, and that is 1 odd electron. So that is odd electron molecule, and in case of nitrogen dioxide, you can also draw the structure as this one is minus, this one is plus. So plus means there will be only 1 odd electron, that is 1, 2, 4, and here will be 6, like this. This is the structure, okay. This is the structure of NO2. So 5 valence electron in nitrogen, 1 electron, 3 involved in the formation of covalent bond, 1 has gone in the formation of positive charge, and other odd is remaining here. So 5, among 5 valence electron, 3 is forming these 3 covalent bonds, minus 3. 1 has gone in the positive charge formation. 1 electron is removing and forming this positive charge, and remaining is only 1 electron, and that is the odd electron over nitrogen. So that is the structure of odd electron structure of nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. Next, this is second limitation of octet rule. You can also see that octet is not fulfilling here. That are odd electron structure, and odd electron structure mean octet actually not fulfilled here. So better you say that they are actually odd electron structures and not following the octet rule actually. The expanded octet, third point. Expanded octet. And expanded octet is observed for period 3 elements. Period 3. Why in period 3? Because in period 3 the presence of d orbital is starting. Okay. So in case of period 1, in periodic table, period 1, how many orbitals are there? Only s orbital. Only s orbital there, right? In period 2, there are s orbital and p orbital, right? And in period 3, there are s orbital, p orbital, and d orbital. So from period 3, d orbital is entering. The entrance of d orbital is starting from period 3, and due to the presence of that d orbital, the elements can show expanded octet. Expanded octet means generally we determine the octet depending upon their valency, right? Depending upon their valency, we determine the octet. Suppose in case of nitrogen, okay, in case of nitrogen it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. This one 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So the valency of, or here are 3 unpaired electron like this, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, right? So 3 unpaired electron means it can its valency is 3. So valency is 3. Now when we are going in the same group, after nitrogen there is phosphorus. So in case of phosphorus, there is 15 phosphorus, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5, 3s2, 3p3, 3s2, 3p3, okay? So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2, 3p3. But here 3d is vacant. Okay, 3d is vacant here. So it has vacant d orbital, but nitrogen has no vacant d orbital. So nitrogen can only show the valency of 3, but phosphorus can expand its valency. Here the valency of phosphorus is 3, that is okay. But in case of this 3s, you can see this is 3s and this is 3p3. The existence is like this and 3d is totally vacant. Now what phosphorus can do? Phosphorus can break this pairing, and can transfer 1 electron to this vacant d orbital like this. So as vacant position is available, so phosphorus in the excited state, phosphorus is able to break this pairing and transfer 1 electron to the vacant d orbital in the excited state. If you excite phosphorus, it can break this pairing and can transfer 1 electron there. So now how many unpaired electrons are there? Here you can see it only 3, and it cannot break this pairing because there are no d orbital available. But after that, just below nitrogen there is phosphorus. But in phosphorus this is period 2 element and phosphorus is period 3 element. So phosphorus can break this pairing and can transfer the electron to the vacant 3d orbital. And now here the number of unpaired electron is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, valency is 5. So as it is increasing, as phosphorus is able to increase its valency from 3 to 5, 3 is fixed for nitrogen and both phosphorus, but phosphorus due to the presence of this d orbital can expand its valency, and as it is able to expand this valency, so it can also show expanded octet. It can also show expanded octet. So phosphorus can form the compounds like PF5 or PCl5. You know the compound PCl5, right? So P, Cl, 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 like this. So how many electrons are there? 2 electron, 2 electron, 2, 2 and 2. So total 10 electrons are there. More than 8. So expanded octet. So why we are getting expanded octet? For phosphorus, not in nitrogen, only in phosphorus, and sulfur can also show, just like phosphorus, sulfur can also show expanded octet. So where for in case of period 3 elements where vacant d orbital is available, they can expand, they can break the pairing and can increase their valency. Okay, they can increase their valency, and when they are increasing their valency, they can show expanded octet. So expansion in their valency and expansion in their octet. That is, you can see 5 bondings of 10 electrons are there, more than octet, 8 electrons. So in the next class we will discuss about the lattice structure or ionic bonding.